Hi class, I want to know what country is known for its romance, fine wine, and cheese? That's right, France. After having researched early 20th century France, I'm prepared to tell you more about French culture in the early 1900s and its effect on life, art movements, and how it can be seen in Henri Matisse's Lorette in a green robe, black background. Life in early 20th century France was prosperous. Between the end of the Napoleonic Wars to the beginning of World War I, society was thriving. In a 2014 book published by academic publishers John Wiley & Sons, the time period is even referred to as the Golden Age for the middle class. The book even goes further to say that the reason behind this is the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment period, and the Industrial Revolution. By the time that Matisse had painted the portrait of Lorette, however, the First World War had already begun. In a 1986 journal article by Catherine C. Bach, an expert on Matisse, she states that Matisse regularly painted portraits of women with a look of longing or loss as an aftermath of the war. In knowing this, it is evident that the time period greatly influenced art and inevitably led to new movements. Initially, Post-Impressionism was a thriving movement in the years preceding the 20th century. This movement highly prioritized the use of shapes and symbols in its artworks. Following the Post-Impressionism movement was Fauvism, which combined the Post-Impressionism movement with Expressionism. Expressionism is a movement which takes a much more emotional perspective than earlier Impressionism. Therefore, artworks categorized under the Fauves movement tend to have both a mixture of simplistic shapes and strong colors. These movements are all clearly found in many of Matisse's works, so much so that historian and Fauvism expert Natalia Brodskaya referred to Matisse as the father of Fauvism in her 2011 book, The Fauves. When looking at the art piece Lorette in a green robe, black background, the Fauvist themes are very evident. Matisse's use of bold purple and green in his art piece, as well as the compilation of simplistic shapes, nod towards Fauvism. Matisse wasn't only influenced by art movements, however, he was also influenced by people and beliefs. In a 2000s journal article by Sabine Ruwald, author and curator at the Met Museum, she states how Matisse was influenced by Paul Cézanne's Post-Impressionism artwork. Cézanne's use of simple color and space can be found in many of Matisse's artworks. Like in Lorette with a green robe, he uses minimal space, shape, and color. Another influence is religion. In a 2014 journal article by Angelo Caranfa, he highlights Matisse's religious influence and the awe that it gave him towards life and his artwork. Caranfa's credibility is derived from his expertise on 20th century French aesthetic. Lastly, Lorette was one of the largest inspirations for Matisse and his works following her. According to the same article by Sabine Ruwald, who works at the Met Museum, Matisse painted more than 25 paintings and portraits of Lorette. For this reason, there was not a heavy reaction to the portraits of Lorette. Many of Matisse's artworks seem to be duplicates of the same pieces, therefore not invoking any sort of outrage. So hopefully after listening to my presentation, you were able to learn a little bit more about French culture, the introduction of new art forms in French culture, and how Matisse's artwork exemplified the state of society at the time. So next time you see a piece of art at the museum, take a look and see if you can find the deeper meaning to it.